In this video, I'm going to try to help you get started on exercise 1B, which is problem 1-12 in your textbook. I've given you an image of what the finished product should look like, but this video is going to help walk you through those this is kind of the first difficult part you've had to deal with so far. So now I'm going to look at this part, and I'm going to take a second, and I'm going to make a decision on how I'm going to start and where I'm going to start with this part. And it looks to me like I want to start with the circle that has a diameter of 30 kind of on the left hand side of that part. So I'm going to start with the circle, and I'm just going to place it over here somewhere pretty close to where I think it should be. I can always move things later. So the center point is going to go here. I'm going to use the diameter option, so I can right mouse click and select diameter, and I'm going to type in 30. The next thing I'm going to do is draw a construction line from the center of that circle straight over with my ortho mode on, straight to the left, 20 millimeters. And that's going to be the starting point for my ellipse. So I'm going to use the axis end ellipse. Be sure you select this one instead of the center end ellipse, but axis end. And so I'm going to use the left end point of that line, so I see my endpoint object snap. Move my cursor to the right, type in 70. Move my cursor up, type in 25. And now I've got the correct size for that ellipse. The next thing I'm going to do is I'll erase my construction line there. And I'm going to go ahead and place another circle at the center of that has a radius of 20. Type in 20, press enter. And I'm going to draw another line from the center point, and I'm going to move it straight over to find the center of the smaller circle. And I'm going to do a little math. So I know that the end of the ellipse is 20 from the center of my 30 diameter circle, and then it's 60 all the way over to the smaller one. So between the smaller one and the larger circle, that leaves 40 millimeters. So I'm going to make this line 40. So I'll stop the line by pressing the enter key, and I'm going to add two circles here at the end of this line. So that's my center point. My diameter for the first one will be a diameter of 10, and then I'm going to create another one that has a radius of 10. Okay, so we're getting close to having some stuff done. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I gave you a hint in the solution image that you should offset this ellipse, so I'm going to use the offset tool. So AutoCAD asked me to specify the offset distance in the hint. I told you to offset through 5, so I'm going to type in 5 and press enter. I'm going to pick this large ellipse, and I'm going to pick inside of the ellipse, and that's going to cause the offset to go inward. So I'm going to left click one time inside there, and now I'm going to trim to clean some things up. So I'm going to pick the trim tool, and I'm going to trim based on these outer larger circles and that last ellipse that I just created with the offset tool. Those are my cutting edges. So I'm going to right click to advance the command, and then I'm going to pick the pieces that I want to go away. So for some reason that didn't want to go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and erase my construction line here. And so you can see the part starting to come together. I'm going to continue to work out to the end here. So I'm going to draw a line from the center of the smaller circle all the way out to 40, which is the end, the furthest right part. And I'm going to go down 15. I'm going to go over 10, which is the difference between 40 and 30. And I'm going to go up 10, which is the difference of 15 and 5. And I'm going to let this line just kind of go up inside there like that. The next thing I'm going to do, instead of having to repeat that, is I'm going to mirror these three segments about this line. So I pick my mirror tool. I'm going to select this line, and this line. I could mirror this line as well, but I'm going to leave it out. So I'm going to right click to advance the command, and this construction line that starts at the center of the circle is my mirror line. So I'm going to pick both ends of it with my endpoint object snap. I don't want to erase the source object. AutoCAD is asking me now, yes or no, would you like to erase the originals? I'm going to pick no, and that's the default, so I can just press the enter key, and I finished the mirror command. I didn't I tend to like to keep long lines as opposed to a couple of short lines to make a long line, so I'm going to use the grip to drag the end of that line up to the other end point. And so I'm going to erase this construction line now. I'm going to trim this piece away. So my cutting lines will be these two horizontal lines. Right click and then pick this ellipse. And so now all I have to do is round some corners, put a chamfer or two in, and a hexagon over here. So I'm going to pick the fillet tool. I'm going to set my radius to 2 by going into the radius option, setting 2. And I'm also going to use the multiple option. So that'll allow me to create multiple ellipses. So I'm going to pick these two. Everywhere there's supposed to be the little R2 radius, I'm going to pick there. Also here. There. Here. And the last one goes there. And now I need to place a chamfer out here on the end of this. So chamfer is behind the fillet tool. So I select the chamfer. And I set my distances to 2. Distance 1, 2. And distance 2 is also 2. And then I'm going to use the multiple option here as well, so I can create both of them without having to start and stop. Now the last thing I have left is to add the hexagon inside here. So I'm going to use my polygon tool, which is behind the rectangle tool. AutoCAD asked me to enter the number of sides, so this is a hexagon, so it has 6 sides. So I type in 6 and press enter. Now AutoCAD is asking me for the center point, which will be at the center of this circle, which is where I started everything from. And AutoCAD is now asking me, is this polygon circumscribed or inscribed? The way you tell the difference is how the dimensions are given to you. In this case, you notice that the 20 dimension is given across the points of the polygon, so that's going to be an inscribed circle. Had the dimensions been given to you across the flats, then that would be a circumscribed. So in this case I'm going to pick inscribed, and I'm going to point the direction I want to go, and the radius is going to be 10 because the 20 is actually a diameter. And notice that it's pointed the wrong way. I should have pointed it the other way, but I'm going to use the rotate command to fix that. So I'm going to pick the rotate tool. I select my polygon. I right click to advance the command. I'm going to use the center point object snap, and I'm just going to make sure my cursor goes right straight up, or I could type 90, but as long as it's going straight up, as long as I left click out here where there's no object snaps, it should be great. So that's the object that we wanted to create. I hope this video will help you be successful in creating your own exercise 1B. Be sure to save that file and submit it to the back with the exercise before the due date. If you have any questions, give me a call or send me an email. Thank you.